Hey everyone, Jason Hitchings here with Adept Defense, and welcome back to the channel. So today I got a little gift in the mail from Agency Arms. It is the Holosun 509T. So this is Holosun's closed emitter pistol optic, kind of a direct competitor to the Aimpoint Acro, if you will, but with actual battery life. We'll get more into that later, but today we're going to be unboxing and mounting this optic onto my Glock 19 MOS Gen 5, being that the mounting system for the 509T is not an RMR footprint. It won't fit on any of my direct mill guns, so that kind of leaves me with the MOS as an option to mount this on. So I actually got a mounting plate from C&H Precision Weapon Systems. They make a MOS plate for the 509T. We're going to get that mounted up and see how it looks. Alright, now we're at the bench so we can get this process started. So Gen 5 Glock 19 MOS, this is in the configuration that I carry it in. So right now this is hot, round in the chamber, full magazine in the gun, riding in a 508 holster, appendix holster from 508. Their newest creation was the orange carbon fiber one. This is for a Glock 17, and it has the discrete carry concepts monoblock system on it. I really like that clip. I don't have any complaints on these clips either. These ones you'll see once I do the review on this holster, but we'll talk more about that later. So the first thing, I'm going to safely unload this gun in a safe direction, lock the slide back, verify that we are clear, no round in the chamber, no magazine in the gun. Set the holster aside, remove the ammo from the area that we're working. Alright, got that out of there. So once again, double check, verify we are clear. So this has a Trujicon RMR on it. This is actually the Gen 1 RMR that has the battery contact issues. I've had no issues with this one. It has, gosh, probably well over 30,000 rounds on this particular optic with no issues whatsoever. And this is also mounted on a C&H Precision plate, which I had a video on mounting this one. So we're going to get this system pulled off and get it ready to mount that Holosun 509T. So notice I had the witness marks on my screws just so I could see if anything was coming loose, which the blue Loctite that we put on there is holding up just fine. So get these broke free. I've always been a pretty big fan of using the blue Loctite. I know a lot of people have switched to the Vibratite stuff now, and that's actually what they ship with the C&H plates. I don't know. Just the blue Loctite has worked so well for me. I'm probably just going to stick with that and skip the Vibratite for now. I'll probably experiment with that stuff at a later date, but for this go around I'm going to stick with my blue Loctite. So nice tight fit on that plate with this optic. We'll pop that battery out. So a couple little tricks with the Gen 1 RMRs, being that they have the battery contact issues that they're known for. Everybody kind of knows to tension the contacts in there. And then what I do is these little stickers that come over the batteries when you buy it, and then normally you would peel it off. I just swap the sticker to the other side so it acts as like a shim to put a little extra pressure on those battery contacts when it's mounted. That seems to work really well. I haven't experienced any flickering with using that type of setup. Alright, so now we're going to break these two screws loose, get the plate off from the gun. Once again, that blue Loctite felt really good. It was nice and tight, kind of snapped free when you loosen it up. So it was nice and hard in there, and still came out the way it should. That's the thing with people that use red Loctite. I'm a little bit leery about that, just because you can end up stripping the Allen out of the screw with red. So we'll ditch this plate for now. That will probably find a home at a later date. Unbox the Holosun. Instructions, screws, lens cleaning cloth. Alright, so this comes with their tool, which we'll take the side load battery cap off, and then it has the Torx on the other end. Got our battery, and then the closed emitter optic. So first off, we're going to pull the battery compartment out here and get our battery put in. So that just unscrews with the provided tool. Alright, pull that screw off. So my one complaint about these version 2 Holosuns that have the side loading battery, I love that option of the side loading battery so you don't have to pull the optic off from the gun. But I wish they had a way to retain these screws, because it's a little tiny screw that holds that in. It would be really easy to lose it if you had to change the battery on the range. So that's probably my only complaint with that. So pop this tray out. So you can see the battery sits in there. It has the little positive plus indicators on that. So we will pop our battery in and slide it in. And before I put the screw in, just verify that it turns on, which it does. Alright, so we will put the battery tray back in. Get that little tiny screw started. It comes with blue Loctite already on the screw. I'll still witness mark the screw once we get all done, just as kind of an added layer of being able to visually check. Just kind of snug that up. It doesn't have to be super tight. And then we will get our C&H plate mounted up here. Get that unpackaged. Alright, so this comes with 2 screws, a Torx bit, which is kind of nice, and then the plate itself. Alright, so the plate looks like it has a really good fit on the gun itself. Nice and snug on there, like we want it. Alright, with the plate on the gun, we are going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on these screws. I'm using the EDC tray that's offered by 508 Holsters. I think they're pretty awesome for when you work on guns. This kind of keeps all your little parts from rolling off the bench. So we'll get a little dab of blue Loctite on there. Start this one. There we go. That's snapped in. Alright, get a little Loctite on our second screw. Those snugged up by hand evenly, and then grab a bit driver so we can snug them. Alright. Put that bit in there. And I don't torque these with an actual torque wrench. You should. It's a good idea. But I've done so many optic installs that I just go nice and even back and forth. They just have to be snug. You don't have to kill them in there, otherwise you end up stripping it out and you won't be able to get that plate off, and then you have bigger issues. So just snug those up. It's not a bad idea to witness mark these screws as well, just so if you ever do take the optic off, you can see if you had any loosening or anything on there. So not a bad idea. But for now, I'm going to skip that. We're going to get this optic installed on the plate. So this definitely feels like it's got Loctite on it because it turns out pretty hard. Get this guy on here. Alright, so that sits nicely on the plate. We will get this one snugged back down. Just a single screw that holds the optic onto the plate. I'll show you that up close in a second. Get that snug. I'll witness mark this screw just so we can have a visual check on that as well, but it's basically a screw that just goes through the optic and then clamps down as you tighten it to the rail that's built into this plate. So the plate's pretty awesome, like it fits the lines of the gun perfectly, no gaps anywhere. The optic sits right up close to your backup irons. So see if I can get that in view. So our backup irons are a Ameriglow all black MOS version suppressor height sights. They're tall enough to co-witness with this optic, so that's a plus. Don't have to change out any iron sights to use this. So as I continue the review of this optic, we'll do some range sessions with it. I'll give you guys all the specs, kind of the rundown of this optic, and why I'm playing with a closed emitter option for a pistol mounted red dot. The Aimpoint Acro I thought was interesting when it came out, but the battery life issue that it has was kind of the deal breaker for me. I couldn't justify buying the Aimpoint price tag and having to change out those batteries every couple weeks. For a brand that is so well known for their battery life on their rifle optics to fall that short when they release the pistol optics. So I'm hoping that they release a newer, updated version of the Aimpoint Acro that has, you know, the 50,000 hour battery life to be competitive with this. So if this optic is as durable and reliable as the rest of my Holosuns, which I've got two 507Cs. I've got a version 1 and a version 2, and I've got a 508T. All three of those optics have, you know, given me zero issues. Super clear, crisp dots on all of them. I would expect this one to be just as good. These have just been super hard to find in stock anywhere, so thank you to Agency Arms for hooking us up with this one, and we will get some rounds through this, get it zeroed, get some range footage, and do a follow-up video hopefully shortly. Alright, so the 509T all mounted up on the Gen 5 MOS. I did witness mark the mounting screw along with the battery tray screw. So if we encounter any issues, that'll give us that quick visual reference to see if anything's loosened up. I recommend doing that at least on your carry gun, so every time you kind of go through that inspection on your gun, it's just a quick way to see if you've got any fastener or Loctite issues going on. They're not the coolest looking optic, you know, it kind of looks like, you know, a mailbox sitting on the back of your gun. As most people complain about the Acro, they're not a very cool looking optic, but we're going to see what the closed emitter life is all about and see if there are advantages to this style optic. So I'm looking forward to testing it. I did slave the dot to my iron sights just to get it close, so I'll be on paper to start to zero it at 10 yards. Obviously when I do zero it, I will zero the dot independently from the irons, but that kind of gives us an easy starting point to where I'm not way out in left field when I start. So I will zero it at 10 yards, and then I'll fine tune it at 25 and reconfirm it once again at 10. It does have really clear glass, a really nice crisp dot. This does have the interchangeable reticle for the circle dot or the circle or just the 2 MOA dot by itself. So those options paired with how well Holosun optics have held up for me, hopefully this one will be just as good as all the rest that I have. So the CNH Precision mounting plate for the MOS, I think they knocked it out of the park with this design. It fits really nice. It looks good on the gun. It comes with the necessary hardware. It came with Vibertite, which we used the blue Loctite instead. But you know, the bits, the hardware, the plate, the Vibertite, everything you need to mount up your optic to your gun. So always had good experiences with that company. Always had good experiences with Holosun, so time will tell. Looking forward to getting this one to the range soon. If you guys have any questions about it, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to try to answer it if I know the answer to it. Once again, I'm Jason Hitchings with Adept Defense. Seek training, become adept.